My heels echo against the polished floors of the hospital corridor as I finish my final rounds. Another 16-hour shift behind me, another life saved in the pediatric ICU. The parents of little Emma Rodriguez had cried when I told them their daughter would recover from the respiratory infection that had nearly killed her. They hugged me like I was family, like I was the most important person in the world. For a moment, standing in that sterile hallway with fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, I felt seen, valued, important. I checked my phone in the elevator. Still nothing. The parking garage is empty at 11 p.m. on Christmas Eve. My footsteps echo against concrete as I walk to my car, keys clutched in frozen fingers. I sit in the driver's seat for a moment, watching my breath fog in the cold air, before starting the engine. The radio plays Silent Night and I turn it off immediately. The silence feels more honest. My name is Natalie Chen. I'm 34 years old today, December 24th. Senior pediatric nurse at Chicago Memorial Hospital, voted Employee of the Year 3 times running, nominated for the Illinois Excellence in Nursing Award last spring. The kind of person who saves children's lives on a daily basis, who holds parents' hands while they sob with relief. Also the kind of person whose own family has never once celebrated her birthday. See, being born on Christmas Eve means I've spent 34 years watching my birthday get swallowed by holiday preparations. While my younger sister Meredith got week-long birthday celebrations in July, complete with pool parties and professional photographers and catered events with ice sculptures, I got "we'll do something after the holidays" promises that evaporated like morning frost. Every single year. For 34 years. I pull into my apartment complex, the building dark except for a few windows glowing with Christmas lights. I check my phone again, scrolling through notifications, work emails, spam, a coupon for a pizza place. One text from Mom. Don't forget to bring the appetizers tomorrow. The spinach artichoke dip and the bruschetta. And wear something nice, not your work clothes. Meredith's promotion announcement is the big moment. No happy birthday. No acknowledgement that I've been alive for exactly 34 years as of midnight tonight. Not even a casual mention thrown at the end like an afterthought. I climb the 3 flights of stairs to my apartment, each step heavier than the last. I unlock the door and stand in the darkness for a moment, letting the silence wrap around me. The small cupcake I bought myself on my lunch break sits on the counter, a single unlit candle stuck in the pink frosting. Happy birthday to me, I whisper to the empty room. The radiator clanks, the refrigerator hums. Somewhere outside, a car door slams and someone laughs, probably heading to a party, probably surrounded by people who remember their name. My phone buzzes, another text from Mom. Also, can you come early to help set up? Around 9 maybe? Meredith wants everything perfect for her big announcement. You know how she gets, and bring the good serving platters, Grandma's ones. Yours look better than mine. I do know how she gets. I've spent my entire life knowing. I've spent my entire life accommodating, adjusting, making sure everything runs smoothly so Meredith can shine. Something shifts inside me as I read those words. Something that's been building for 34 years, compressed under layers of obligation and guilt, and the desperate hope that maybe this time would be different. I type my reply slowly, deliberately, watching each letter appear on the screen. I won't be there tomorrow. Merry Christmas. Then I turn off my phone and light my own candle. The flame flickers in the darkness, casting dancing shadows on my walls. I watch it burn for a long time, thinking about all the candles I've never gotten to blow out, all the wishes I've never gotten to make. This year I make my wish anyway. I wish for myself to finally matter. To understand why that text felt like a declaration of war, you need to understand the Chen family hierarchy. My parents, David and Catherine Chen, built their lives around appearances. Dad's a senior partner at one of Chicago's most prestigious law firms. Mom chairs 3 charity boards, organizes the annual Lake Forest Symphony Gala, and maintains a social calendar that would exhaust a diplomat. They live in a 6-bedroom house in Lake Forest that's been featured in architectural magazines twice. Everything they do is about image. The right schools, the right friends, the right achievements, to mention at dinner parties. Their children were supposed to be extensions of that image, carefully polished reflections of their own success. And then there's Meredith. My sister is 2 years younger and approximately 2,000 times more celebrated. She's blonde, where I'm brunette, thanks to expensive salon highlights that cost more than my monthly grocery budget. She's a marketing director at a luxury cosmetics company, which somehow sounds more impressive than saving children's lives when Mom describes it at dinner parties. Meredith works with celebrities, Mom likes to say. She's launching campaigns with real impact. Real impact. As if the children I've pulled back from the edge of death don't count because they don't have Instagram followings. Meredith got a sweet 16 with a live band, professional decorations, and a guest list of over 100 people. I got a card that said Happy Holidays with my name added in parentheses, like an afterthought, like someone had almost forgotten I existed. Meredith got a brand new BMW for her college graduation, presented with a bow in the driveway while relatives applauded. I got a handshake from Dad and a reminder that nursing school loans were my responsibility because nurses don't make enough to justify the investment. Meredith got engaged at 26, and her wedding was featured in a lifestyle magazine. 300 guests, destination ceremony in Napa Valley, custom dress that cost more than my car. I got asked to coordinate the catering because you're so good at managing things, Natalie. You have such attention to detail. I spent her wedding weekend running between the kitchen and the venue, making sure everything was perfect, while photographers captured Meredith's every smile. I'm in exactly 3 photos from that entire weekend, all of them blurry, all of them in the background. Every Christmas, the pattern repeats with mechanical precision. I arrive at 8 a.m. to help Mom cook, chopping vegetables and stirring sauces while she frets about table settings. I set the dining room while Meredith gets her makeup done by a professional she hired for the occasion. I serve the food while Meredith entertains guests with stories about her glamorous life, her important clients, her recent vacation to somewhere tropical and expensive. I clean up while Meredith opens presents that cost more than my monthly rent. Designer bags, jewelry, gadgets. Last year, Mom gave her a weekend trip to a spa resort. She gave me a scarf she'd gotten as a gift with purchase from Nordstrom, still in its plastic wrapper with a promotional tag attached. I thought of you when I saw it, she'd said, apparently not realizing the tag literally said, free gift. And every year, my birthday passes without mention. We'll celebrate after the holidays, Mom always says, patting my cheek like I'm still a child who can be placated with empty promises. After the holidays never comes. Last year I mentioned my birthday at dinner. Just once. Just a quiet, it's actually my birthday today, while everyone was complimenting Meredith's new designer bag. Mom laughed nervously. Oh honey, you know we can't do 2 celebrations in one day. It's too much. 2 celebrations. As if acknowledging my existence would somehow diminish the holiday. As if I was asking for a parade, instead of a simple, happy birthday. Dad didn't even look up from his phone. That night, I drove home and cried in my car for an hour. At 33 years old, sobbing like a child because my parents couldn't spare 2 words for the daughter who arranges their parties, coordinates their events, and shows up every single time they call. Never again, I promised myself through the tears. But I went back anyway, because that's what Natalie does. Natalie shows up, Natalie helps, Natalie fades into the background while Meredith shines. Until now. The morning of December 25th, I wake to 47 missed calls. The notification count glows accusingly on my phone screen. I stare at it for a moment, then set the phone face down and make coffee instead. Strong, black, the way I like it, not the complicated latte orders Mom insists on when I'm in her kitchen. I sit on my small balcony, wrapped in a thick blanket, watching the snow fall on the city below. The streets are quiet, everyone tucked inside with their families, their celebrations, their people who remember their names. For the first time in years, I feel something other than dread on Christmas morning. I feel free. When I finally check the voicemails, they tell their own story. A drama unfolding in real time, escalating with each message. Mom at 8 a.m., irritated. Natalie, where are you? The appetizers were supposed to be here an hour ago. I've been trying to reach you. Call me back. Mom at 9 a.m., angry. This is completely unacceptable behavior. Meredith is devastated. She's been crying all morning. I had to make the appetizers myself, and they're not the same. Call me back immediately. Dad at 10 a.m., cold and clipped. Your mother is very upset. Whatever point you're trying to make, you've made it. This is childish. Now get over here and do your part. Meredith at 11 a.m., her voice thick with theatrical tears. Nat, how could you do this to me? This was supposed to be my special day, my big announcement, and now everyone's talking about you instead. You always have to make everything about yourself. I can't believe you'd be this selfish. Mom at noon, full-on sobbing. The Hendersons are asking where you are. The Watsons, too. I had to tell them you were sick. You're making me lie to our guests, Natalie. On Christmas, on what's supposed to be a beautiful family day. How could you do this to us? Dad at 1 p.m., threatening now. If you don't show up in the next hour, there will be consequences. You're embarrassing this family. This is not how we raised you. I listened to each one, sipping my coffee, feeling remarkably calm. The guilt that usually floods me at their disappointment is strangely absent. In its place is something else, something that feels like clarity. Then I call the one person who's never forgotten my birthday. Mrs. Patterson answers on the second ring. At 79, she's my upstairs neighbor and the closest thing I have to real family. For 4 years she's remembered every birthday, every work anniversary, every small victory. She brings me soup when I'm sick and casseroles when I work double shifts. She asks about my day and actually listens to the answer. Happy birthday, sweetheart, she says before I can speak. I left something at your door this morning. I didn't want to knock too early in case you were sleeping in. I find a small wrapped package in the hallway, tucked against my doorframe. Inside is a vintage nurse's pin from the 1940s, delicate and beautiful, along with a handwritten card that reads, "For the healer who never stops giving, it's time someone gave back to you. With love, your upstairs grandmother." I cry then, standing in my hallway in my pajamas, clutching a pin from a woman who's known me 4 years and sees me more clearly than my parents have in 34. But they're different tears than last year. Cleaner somehow, less like grief, and more like release. The next week passes in a blur of blocked calls and deleted voicemails. I work extra shifts, finding comfort in the routine of caring for others. The children in my ward don't care about family drama. They just need someone to hold their hand and tell them everything will be okay. On December 31st, I do something I've never done before. I book a spa weekend for myself. Just me, a luxury resort in Wisconsin, and absolutely no cell service. I pay with the money I'd been saving for Meredith's birthday gift, a designer handbag she'd mentioned wanting. She can buy her own handbag. New Year's Eve finds me soaking in a hot spring, watching fireworks explode over frozen lakes, surrounded by strangers who don't know my name, or my history, or my family's expectations. Celebrating something special? The woman next to me asks. My birthday, I say. A week late, but better than never. She raises her champagne glass. To late celebrations and new beginnings. I clink my glass against hers and feel something fundamental shift inside me. When I return to Chicago, my inbox holds one email that changes everything. The hospital's annual review includes a surprise. Your performance metrics are exceptional, my supervisor says, sliding a folder across her desk. Patient satisfaction scores are the highest in the department. Your overtime hours have saved us from staffing crises more times than I can count. The Rodriguez family sent a letter to the board about you specifically. I nod, expecting the usual, keep up the good work, dismissal that follows compliments in my life. Instead, she smiles. The board has approved a significant raise, 15% effective immediately, and we'd like to offer you the assistant director of nursing position. You'd be overseeing the entire pediatric wing. The number on the paper makes my eyes water. More money than I've ever earned. Enough to change things, enough to build something of my own. Take some time to think about it, she says. I don't need time. Yes, absolutely yes. That evening, I do something even more radical than skipping Christmas. I start looking at houses, not apartments. Houses, with yards and spare bedrooms and space to host my own gatherings. Places where I could build a life that doesn't revolve around being useful to people who don't see me. Places where I could be the host instead of the help. The real estate website becomes my obsession. I save listings, calculate mortgage payments, imagine myself in kitchens that aren't my mother's. in dining rooms where I'm at the head of the table instead of running between the kitchen and the serving stations. A 3-bedroom Craftsman in Oak Park catches my eye. Original hardwood floors, updated kitchen with granite countertops, a backyard with mature oak trees, and a garden bed waiting to be planted. The listing price is ambitious, but not impossible with my new salary. I schedule a viewing for Saturday, telling no one. The house is even better in person. Light streams through large windows, illuminating rooms that feel both spacious and cozy. The realtor points out original details, the crown molding, the built-in bookshelves, the fireplace that actually works. I walk through each room, imagining it filled with my things, my books on those shelves, my photos on those walls, my friends gathered around that fireplace. The sellers are motivated, the realtor says. They've already moved to Arizona, looking for a quick close. I'll take it, I hear myself say. I can make a substantial down payment. Her eyebrows lift. Don't you want to think about it? Maybe bring your family to see it? The word family almost makes me laugh. No, I say, my voice clear and definite. This is for me, just me. 6 weeks after Christmas, I close on my house. The signing takes place in a quiet office downtown. My hand doesn't shake as I write my name on document after document. Mrs. Patterson insisted on coming, sitting beside me like a proud grandmother, dabbing her eyes with a handkerchief when I received the keys. Your own home, she says, squeezing my hand. You deserve this, Natalie, more than you know. The keys feel heavy in my palm. Real in a way nothing else has felt in years. Solid evidence that I can build something without anyone's permission. My family doesn't know. They've moved from anger to guilt trips to ominous silence over the past weeks. Mom sent a card with a check for $50 and a note for your belated birthday. Let's talk soon. $50. After 34 years of birthdays spent serving her needs, cooking her food, cleaning her house, coordinating her events, she values my existence at $50. I donate the check to the hospital's children's fund and don't respond. The house needs work. Paint, mostly, and some updating. The previous owners left mismatched curtains and a kitchen that hasn't been properly cleaned in months. But it's mine. Every wall, every floor, every creaky step on the staircase belongs to me. I spend weekends transforming it, room by room, decision by decision. The spare bedroom becomes a reading nook with a window seat overlooking the backyard where birds gather at a feeder I installed myself. The living room gets arranged around the fireplace, with comfortable furniture I chose without anyone's input. The kitchen fills with appliances I researched and selected, not hand-me-downs from Mom's remodeling projects. Most importantly, I create a wall of achievements in the hallway. My nursing degree in its frame, my certifications and specializations. The Employee of the Year plaques, all 3 of them. Photos of me with patients who've recovered, their parents' grateful smiles preserved forever. Thank you cards I've saved over the years, dozens of them, from families whose children I helped save. Evidence that I matter. Proof that I've built something meaningful with my life. A visual record of a career spent making a difference. The wall my parents never made for me, I make for myself. March brings an unexpected visitor. I'm planting tulip bulbs in my new garden, knees dirty, hair escaping from its ponytail, when a familiar BMW pulls into my driveway. The engine purrs to a stop and Meredith emerges, oversized designer sunglasses hiding her expression, a handbag that costs more than my first car clutched like a shield against her chest. She picks her way across the lawn in impractical stilettos, wincing as her heels sink into the soft spring earth. I don't get up to greet her. I just keep planting, pushing bulbs into the soil one by one. Nice place, she says finally, looking around at the Craftsman bungalow, the mature trees, the garden beds I've been cultivating. When did all this happen? January. I continue planting, not rising to greet her. She stands there awkwardly, clearly expecting me to invite her inside, to drop everything and make her comfortable the way I always have. When I don't, she crosses her arms. Mom's been crying for weeks, she says. Dad says you've completely lost your mind. They're talking about staging some kind of intervention. What's going on with you? I sit back on my heels, garden dirt on my knees, and finally look at her. Really look. At the sister who's never once asked about my day, my work, my life. At the woman who's had everything handed to her and still manages to feel victimized when someone else gets a crumb. I decided to stop being invisible. You were never invisible, she says, and I can tell she actually believes it. You were always around, at every event, every holiday. Around, I repeat, working, serving, cleaning, setting up and breaking down so you could be the star. That's not the same as being seen, Meredith. She shifts her weight, heels sinking deeper into the lawn. That's not fair. Really? I stand, brushing off my hands. Tell me one thing about my life. One thing that doesn't involve what I do for the family. One fact about who I am when I'm not useful to you. She opens her mouth, confidence ready, then closes it. My job, I prompt. My friends. My hobbies. Anything. You're a nurse, she tries, grasping for solid ground. What kind? Silence stretches between us, filled only by bird song and the distant sound of a lawnmower. Pediatric ICU, I say quietly. I've been doing it for 11 years. Last month I helped save a 6-year-old girl who came in with acute respiratory failure. Her parents sent me flowers and a card saying I was their angel. The month before that, I held a mother's hand while her son had emergency surgery. He made it. She calls me every few weeks to tell me how he's doing. I meet Meredith's eyes. But you wouldn't know any of that, because no one's ever asked. Her composure cracks just slightly. Nat, that's not fair. You never tell us these things. I've told Mom dozens of times. She changes the subject to your promotions and your vacations and your life within 30 seconds. Every single time. I stopped trying years ago because it hurt too much to be interrupted. A cardinal lands on my fence, watching us with bright, curious eyes. Why did you really come here, Meredith? She deflates, the bravado seeping out of her like air from a balloon. Mom wants you at Easter. She's planning a big family thing. Cousins, aunts, uncles, the whole production. She says it won't be the same without you. Without me helping, you mean? Without me cooking the ham and setting the table and cleaning up while everyone else relaxes. That's not. Did she mention my birthday at all? In any of your conversations about getting me back in line? Did it occur to anyone that maybe, just maybe, skipping Christmas wasn't about Easter at all? Meredith's silence is answer enough. Tell Mom I'm hosting my own Easter this year, I say, turning back to my garden. Friends from work, neighbors, people who actually know my name and my story. She's welcome to come if she wants to be a guest instead of a director, but I won't be serving her anymore. I push another bulb into the soil, feeling it settle into place. After a long moment, Meredith's heels click back across the lawn. The BMW door opens and closes. The engine starts. But she doesn't leave immediately. Through my peripheral vision, I see her sitting in the driver's seat, staring at my house, at the garden I'm building, at the life I'm claiming for myself. When she finally drives away, I feel lighter than I have in years. My Easter celebration becomes legendary. 23 people fill my new home, spilling from the living room onto the back porch, clustering in the kitchen around food that covers every surface. Colleagues from the hospital bring dishes from a dozen different cultures. Mrs. Patterson holds court in the living room, telling stories about her nursing days in the 1960s that have everyone leaning in, captivated. A resident from my department brings his guitar and plays folk songs by the fireplace while people sing along. Children I've treated, now healthy and thriving, run through the backyard while their parents watch with tears in their eyes. I made the ham myself, following a recipe I found online, adjusting seasonings to my own taste instead of my mother's exacting specifications. It's not perfect. The glaze is slightly uneven, the presentation won't win any awards, but it's mine. Every choice, from the honey to the cloves, reflects what I wanted. To Natalie, someone says, raising a glass as we gather around the dining room table I bought with my own money. Who finally learned that the best parties are the ones you throw for yourself. The toast spreads through the room, glasses clinking, voices overlapping with warmth and genuine affection. I stand in my own kitchen, surrounded by people who chose to be here, people who know my name and my story, and feel tears prick my eyes. This is what celebration feels like. Not obligation dressed up as tradition, but genuine connection. Genuine love. My phone buzzes in my pocket. A text from Dad. Your mother set a place for you. The family is disappointed. I type back, I have family here. They're not disappointed at all. Then I silence my phone and return to my guests, to the laughter and the music and the life I'm finally building on my own terms. The real confrontation comes in May. Mom appears at my door unannounced, still in her charity luncheon attire. Her face cycles through shock at the house, confusion at its existence, and something that might be guilt. "You bought a house," she says, 3 months ago. Without telling us. I lean against the doorframe. "You didn't ask." She pushes past me into the foyer, heels clicking on my hardwood floors. I watch her take in the details. The wall of achievements. The photos of friends. The lived-in warmth of a home that belongs to someone who actually lives there. "This is lovely," she admits, and I hear the confusion in her voice. As if she can't reconcile this competent, successful woman with the invisible daughter she's been overlooking for decades. "Why are you here, Mom?" She turns to face me. "I want to understand. What happened? Why are you pulling away from the family?" The laugh escapes before I can stop it. "Pulling away? Mom, I've been standing in the corner of family events for 34 years, waiting to be noticed. The only thing that changed is I stopped waiting." "That's not true. We've always included you." "Included me in what? The work? The service? I've coordinated every family event since I was 16. I've cooked, cleaned, organized, arranged, and facilitated everything while Meredith showed up in designer clothes and accepted compliments. When was the last time you asked about my job? My life? Anything that wasn't a request for help?" She opens her mouth to answer, and I see the moment she realizes she can't. "My birthday is December 24th, I continue. "Same as it's been for 34 years. When was the last time you acknowledged it?" "We always meant to." Mean to doesn't mean anything. Actions mean something. And your actions have told me exactly where I rank in this family. She sinks onto my couch, and for a moment she looks old in a way I've never noticed before. "I didn't realize," she whispers. "I thought you were happy being the responsible one." "No one's happy being invisible, Mom. I just got tired of complaining about it." The silence stretches between us. Outside, birds sing in my garden. The garden I planted myself, in the yard I own, in the life I built without anyone's help. "I want to fix this," she says finally. I sit across from her. "Then fix it. But not by asking me to come back to the old arrangement. That's over. If you want a relationship with me, it has to be as an equal, not a staff." "I don't know how to do that." "Then learn. I had to learn how to exist without your approval. You can learn how to see me as a person." She leaves without promises, which is somehow more honest than the empty ones she used to make. December 24th arrives again. This year, I've planned my own celebration. 35 candles on a cake I baked myself. A guest list that includes colleagues, neighbors, and the parents of children I've helped save. Mrs. Patterson has a seat of honor by the fireplace. My house glows with lights I hung myself. The table is set for 20. Not because I'm serving anyone, but because I'm hosting people who genuinely want to celebrate me. The doorbell rings at 6 p.m. Mom and Dad stand on my porch, dressed for an occasion. Mom holds a wrapped gift. Dad carries a bottle of wine. "We weren't sure you'd want us here," Mom says quietly. "I wasn't sure either," I admit. But I'm learning that boundaries don't have to mean walls. Meredith arrives 20 minutes later, alone. She hands me a card without meeting my eyes. Inside is a handwritten letter, 4 pages, detailing memories I didn't know she had. Me teaching her to ride a bike. Me staying up all night when she was sick with flu. Me at her wedding, quietly making sure everything ran smoothly while she danced. "I didn't see it before," she says. "How much you did for all of us. I'm sorry it took so long." The party flows around us, my worlds colliding, work friends meeting family, neighbors meeting colleagues. I move through my own home, accepted and celebrated, no longer the helper invisible in the kitchen. At midnight, everyone gathers in my living room. "Happy birthday, Natalie," they say in unison. Not as an afterthought, not squeezed between Christmas obligations. Just for me. Mom catches my eye across the room. Her smile is small, uncertain, still learning. But she's here. She came not to be served, but to celebrate. It's not perfect. 34 years of patterns don't dissolve in one evening. But it's a start. I blow out my candles and make a wish. Not for their approval, not for their attention. I spent too many years wishing for things I couldn't control. This year, I wish for myself. For the courage to keep building a life where I matter. for the strength to maintain boundaries that protect my peace, for the grace to forgive without forgetting. The candles extinguish in a single breath. What did you wish for? Mrs. Patterson asks. I smile, looking around at my home, my guests, my hard-won independence. Something I've already started giving myself. Here's what I learned from 34 invisible birthdays. No one is going to celebrate you the way you deserve until you start celebrating yourself first. You can't wait for permission from people who've spent your whole life overlooking you. You can't keep hoping that this time will be different, when all the evidence suggests it won't be. Waiting for approval from people who've never given it is like waiting for snow in July. Technically possible, but exhausting and ultimately pointless. You are allowed to stop being useful to people who don't value you. Helpfulness isn't love if it's the only thing they want from you. Service isn't family if they only notice you when the dishes need doing. And convenience isn't connection if they forget you exist the moment you're not making their lives easier. The hardest truth I learned is this. Some parents play favorites. Some families have hierarchies that no amount of achievement will change. You can save lives, win awards, build careers, and buy houses, and still be the afterthought, the helper, the one whose birthday gets swallowed by someone else's celebration. That's not your fault. And it's not your job to fix it. Build your own table, buy your own house, invite your own guests, light your own candles, host your own celebrations. The people who matter will find their way to you. The ones who don't will finally have to face how empty the holidays feel without the person who made everything work. My parents are starting to understand. It's slow, awkward, painful at times. There are setbacks and old patterns that try to reassert themselves. But they're trying, and that matters. They're learning to see me as a person instead of a function. Meredith sent me a birthday card this year. A real one, not a holiday card with my name added in parentheses. Inside she wrote 3 sentences. I'm sorry I didn't see you before. I see you now. Happy birthday, Nat. It's not everything, but it's something. And sometimes something is where healing begins. So let me ask you, if you've spent years fading into the background of someone else's celebration, what would happen if you stepped into your own spotlight? If you stopped waiting for an invitation and started sending them yourself? If the people who should see you have been looking past you your whole life, what would it feel like to be seen by people who actually want to look? Who choose to show up because they value you, not what you can do for them? I stopped waiting. I stopped serving. I started hosting. I built a life where my birthday finally matters, where my achievements get celebrated, where my name is at the top of the guest list instead of the bottom of the to-do list. What celebration are you overdue to give yourself? Because here's the final truth. You deserve a party. You deserve candles and cake and people who remember your name without being reminded. You deserve to be the guest of honor in your own life. Don't wait 34 years to figure that out. Start now, because life is too short to spend it invisible, and you've already waited long enough.